Hello there, you 5.8 million awakening wonders. Well done overcoming the many challenges you've had to overcome in your life. Well done not being crushed. Well done staying discerning. Well done staying true to the person that you actually are. Well done continuing to awaken with me to get... I mean, what does this mean as a sign? Is that going to catch on? Could that ever catch on? If you've not subscribed yet, subscribe right now. Turn on the notification bell and sign up to my mailing list. I'll show you how to do that at the end of the video. And if this is the first video you've watched with us, thank you for being on this voyage. Thank you for being on this journey. I've had an amazing conversation with Matt Taibbi, a very respected journalist of the left. Wait, if you're watching this and you happen to be on the right, and remember, I don't care where you think you are on that spectrum. If you're a person who's interested in saving the world, if you're a person who's interested in changing the world and awakening individually, then we are on the same side. I'm sure there's loads of things we see differently from one another. It doesn't matter. You want to be free and you want to be left alone. I want to be free and I want to be left alone. The only way we're going to achieve that is together. Time to put aside the petty disputes. Time to move in unity towards a better world. I know we can do it. You're going to love this conversation with Matt because we started to point out the various similarities that seem to emerge when reporting on crisis news. Almost like there's a crisis, not generated, let's just say they occur, these crises, wars, pandemics, other forms of crisis. Although in American history, it is known that, for example, in Latin and Central America, shocks and various crises were somewhat induced in order to bring about regime change. I'm not saying that's happening on a global scale right now, but you can see certain similarities. When the Ukraine war happened, and when coronavirus happened, a few things I noticed were similar. One, it's difficult to speak out against the narrative that the mainstream media want you to speak out about. Two, there's a sense of heightened fear and panic. The mainstream media pursue a very particular line. And here's the weirdest thing of all, certain very powerful interests profit from those situations. Now, let me tell you, I am not interested in conspiracy theories. I'm interested in conspiracy facts. That's why we only talk to brilliant journalists. That's why we only use reliable sources. That's why we've got a great team here of people that are only interested in conveying the truth as we understand it. We believe you deserve transparency. We believe you can take transparency. In this conversation with Matt Taibbi, we talk about the coronavirus pandemic and the Ukraine war and the similarities in reporting. You probably see the situation different from me. We're not all the same. We've had different lives. We've got different traumas, different experiences, and different things to offer. Have a look, though, and stay to the end of this conversation, because I think you're going to find it thrilling and exciting. Stay to the end.
There's a constant to how each of these crises roll out. They go in stages every time. There's an initial period where it's total certainty, and if you deviate even, a micromillimeter from the consensus, you are, denounced as a Putinite or a hater, a right-wing fanaticist, whatever it is. Right-wing has become the catch-all for just somebody who thinks differently, which is, I know you've gotten it, I've gotten it, everybody's gotten it now, which is so strange because I don't have any views that I would consider right-wing.
No, we're just a couple of cartoon rabbits that just want to drum.
Exactly. But yeah, no, it's scary, and the conformity aspect of it is really disturbing, and I think that the thing that's really troubling for me as a reporter is the way that each of these crises, though completely distinct, in many cases, having nothing whatsoever to do with one another. There's an increasing tendency to link all of them, which makes it impossible to report on the nuances, because when you report on nuance, what you're accused of is being part of the big evil matrix, right? So just to take an example, the Ukraine story is complex. There's a lot of stuff going on there. There are facts that are, there are a few facts that are adverse to Ukraine there. I mean, they do have some elements within the armed forces that are a little scary. Freedom House rated that country a 39 out of 100 on the democracy score. They are a transitional regime. They've had a record of imprisoning people who disagree politically. Russia's not better, but Ukraine has issues, right? But we can't report on that stuff now, because if you talk about that, or you mention the Azov battalion, or you mention things that went on in the Donbass that might have inspired some of the Russians at least to think in a certain way about Ukraine, then you're part of this overall matrix of autocracy that is trying to undermine all that is right and decent in the world. Whereas, 20 years ago, you would have just been reporting. You would have said, well, this is true, this is true, this is true. And that's also true. I don't care. I mean, it's not my job to care about what it all adds up to. But that's how all of these crises have been reported. The pandemic was the same way. We weren't allowed to touch certain things. And that didn't work out very well either. So I think that's the big danger.
Why is it so paternal? Why? Why has it changed to a relationship with the media, with the state, with big business, where the assumption is idiocy? The assumption is that people are stupid, they can't handle complex information. If you start telling them that, look, it's complicated in Ukraine because of NATO's actions, because of resources, because there are elements in the Ukraine armed forces, because of American expansionism, because of our own history, that somehow that's, people can't handle it. Or with, the coronavirus pandemic, like a good faith relationship with government, it seems to me would be possible if they weren't sort of ultimately owned by corporate interests, because I would be down for people saying, look, at the beginning we thought this, but now we've realized that's not true. So we're amending and adjusting to this. But it was a highly politicized situation, that pandemic. I think this is from something you wrote. When Trump was president, Molnupiravir, or whatever it's called, was a bad and dangerous science, an evil twin to hydroxychloroquine. Now it's a pharmaceutical superhero coming to the rescue. Now, I suppose their counter-argument would be, the science has changed, we've got better research, we've got better data. But it seems to me that it was partisan political biases in this instance bypassed and overturned the basic science, the basic facts of the matter. Is that true, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. And the notion that the great unwashed media audience can't handle source material has become increasingly prevalent. And you see that in things like the reporting on QAnon. All right, so Q allegedly came back a few weeks ago, and there were stories about it. But the new trend is we don't show you the thing because we think you can't handle it. So we'll talk about it. We'll call up professors who will give you comments about what you're supposed to think, but we're not going to link to the actual thing because you may be radicalized by it. Or, we don't want to show you pictures of what Donald Trump actually said. We don't want any video of him actually speaking, or again, somebody like Steve Bannon or Alex Jones or any of these people, because I guess because they think people are going to be radicalized by the sight of them, when in fact, I think the history of Trump going back to 2016 is that his best friend has been the media's attempt to contextualize him. The more negative attention he got from the media, the better he did. The more he personally spoke, the worse he did. And I think some of this comes from a misunderstanding of how audiences think. Audiences don't like to be talked down to. They like to be treated like grown, don't you think? I mean, they want to be told everything, and they think they can handle it. And if you treat them like babies, that doesn't go over well.
Well, do you think you can trust the mainstream media or your own lying eyes? Let me know in the comments below. And if you get a reply there from someone going, send me a text, that's not me. I don't want your money. I don't want anything from you. Actually, I do want something from you. I want you to subscribe to this channel right now. I want you to turn on the notification bell, and I want you to sign up to my mailing list. I'll show you how to do that in literally a few seconds. If you enjoyed this video and this conversation, watch either one of these. They're both fantastic. Look at me doing EDMR on myself right now. That's right. Apparently that helps you to process stuff. There's a possibility that I'm coming to America soon. Would you like to see me live in America? Where would you like to see me live? Let me know in the comments below. Sign up to that mailing list. It's the most intimate way of connecting with me. I give you my email address on there and everything. We're about to talk. Stay free.